Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how you can store seeds for the future from some different objects you might have in your kitchen, different fruits, different plants that you are curious to see if you can maybe grow in your windowsill or out in the garden. And I'm going to be using a tomato today because I have some tomatoes that are starting to get dimpled and wrinkled and maybe not so appetizing anymore. But this is something you could also do with the inside of the tomato that you wouldn't normally eat if you're slicing them or dicing them for a different recipe. And so what you'll need are some toothpicks to help you extract the seeds, some containers that you're going to want to store them in long term, and then a pair of scissors, a pen, and in my case I'm using a coffee filter, but it's also helpful to use something like a paper towel or even a paper plate to help you be able to put the seeds onto. When they're drying, you don't want to put them on something like newspaper or even a piece of printer paper because they're going to stick to those because of what you'll see throughout the process, kind of a gelatinous substance that's covering the seeds, kind of keeping them suspended in the inside of your fruit. So again, coffee filter, paper towel, paper plate, something similar like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by cutting open my coffee filter. And for these filters that I'm using, there's one side that is a little more textured, it's the outer side, and then the inside is a little smoother. So it might be a little easier for you to trace your cup onto this part because the pen's not going to skip around so much. And when you've gotten the number traced that you want, you're going to go ahead and cut those pieces out, and you're going to line the bottom of your cups. Now these cups do have lids, and that's going to be helpful for the future, but not during the drying process. You don't want to keep that moisture in. You want to let it evaporate. You want to make sure the seeds are nice and dry. The benefit of also having the filter paper is if you decide to, you can kind of make seed discs. You don't have to have just one piece to be trying to get the individual seeds off of. You can take the entire piece of paper and transfer it to your pot or your garden, and that way you kind of know where your concentrated areas of tomatoes are, and then as they start to grow, you can thin them to make sure that the strongest plants are going to be the ones that you keep tending as time goes on. So I'm just going to set these aside. And what you can do is when you cut apart your tomato, like I said, it can be something that you are using a part that is not going to be eaten, like if you're slicing up tomatoes for a dish or a sandwich, or it can be a tomato that was maybe going bad, or a similar vegetable or a fruit part that was going bad. So taking those toothpicks, you should just go in, kind of isolate one of the seeds, and like you can see here, it's very little, and you'll take it and place it onto your filter paper. This is something that is going to take a few days, and there is that gelatin kind of substance that some people like to rinse, like to get all that extra off, but honestly it's not necessary. Some people think that there is a benefit to letting those seeds ferment, but it does not seem that that is the case anymore. It's kind of a matter of personal preference. And I would say probably 3 to 5 tomatoes isolated is enough, because again, you're going to have to go in and thin them as they start to grow. And odds are they might not all grow depending on the plant that it came from. You might have better luck with something that was organic to start, just because of the process that they are going through when they're grown. But it's also just a good experiment to see if you can make it work with something that might have otherwise gone into the compost bin. So let's see if I can get one more on here. This is definitely, for younger kids, gonna be a good sensory experience for them. and something that's good for hand-eye coordination too, kind of fishing all those little seeds out. Okay, there we go. So we have 5 of them on there now. And what we can see is if we compare them to, these are dried seeds from a different variety of tomato, another small one though. You can see the difference between the ones that are fresh and the ones that are dried from the previous year's collection. And when you are finished isolating them all, it's good to put them in a cool, dry place, somewhere that it's darker. If you have a basement or a cabinet that's, you know, away from your sink area or your refrigerator where it's a little warmer, it's gonna help speed up that process, and then you can just transplant your new seeds to see how they grow. All right guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully we'll have more good stuff for you coming next time.